What's up, beautiful jellyfish? It's Tracy, and I have a very special guest with me today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Kyoji Takenuchi all over the internet. I play Magic. I am a EDH junkie, and I've been friends with Tracy for, what, 5-ish years?
Yeah, you've been one of my longest standing subscribers, and then we met when we were in Vegas, and I'm actually going to your wedding in a couple weeks, which is like truly like wild, like internet friends. Like, I just love that. So it's really great. And we're talking about Commander Masters today. And what I always like to ask, usually I film these with Paul, is I always like to ask, like, what are your overall thoughts about this set?
One thing I really like about this is for more accessibility for cards for people who weren't around during the time that the card was printed, and then they're too much. And I've been playing since 2005. I've been collecting ever since. I've collected all these cards when they were new, and primarily I pick up what I need, throw them in a big box, and then maybe I use it up at some point. So a lot of these cards, like Jeweled Lotus, came out during the pandemic. Not too many people were able to get that at the time, and now someone could crack it from a pack and then throw it in their something deck.
Yeah, I agree. And I think like accessibility, like I feel like, I mean, I talk budget cards and I talk like reprints on my channel, and I feel like, yeah, anything that gets more cards into more people's hands is always an okay thing in my book. So I definitely agree. I think that they did a really great job with this set overall. I think another aspect that I felt like, and I told this to my friends, as I said, it felt like somebody from Wizards looked at my wish list and like printed some of these cards, because some of them are more, and I'll talk about those specific ones when I get there. And I'm not talking like a card like Jewel Lotus that like everybody really wants. I'm talking about those more like niche cards that I'm like, oh, like they reprinted this. And I'll talk about those more specific ones once we get there. But yeah, I'm excited. Are you ready to dive in?
Yes, let's do it.
Awesome. So, do you want to get started with the first card that you want to talk about?
Yeah. I'm just gonna go over like a bunch of cards all at once, because I like master sets specifically for when cards get downshifted, since I have the common uncommon cube. So this set has a handful of cards that were rare and now they're uncommon, so they're legal to be in my cube. Uh, One of them is Kemba Kha Regent. Can't find. There it is. It's from Stars of Mirrodin. It's a 2/4 for 3 mana. At the beginning of your upkeep, you make a 2/2 cat for each equipment on her.
Yes.
It just has this beautiful like portrait style artwork. Um, Liz really likes the art, and I need to find one for her, of course.
Yeah, Kemba's really great. I remember my friend Eddie had a Kemba deck, and it was so aggressive because you just have all these equipments and you just make all these cats, and you like make her really big, but then you can swarm with cats. Like, it's so good.
Yeah, it combos really great with Cathar's Crusade, although a lot of things combo well with Cathar's Crusade.
Agreed. So you mentioned this in their Bejeweled Lotus. I mean, I think this is going to be a really hot ticket item for a lot of people. I think the borderless foil, it's funny, I don't like a lot of the borderless in this for some reason, but I love this borderless foil, and I would really love to get a foil. And I've told this story before, but for our wedding, our friend Chuck gave us a foil Jeweled Lotus, and it went to Paul. And I know you might be thinking like, that's odd that it didn't go to you, but it just went to him, and he was more excited about it. And I was like, it's cool, you can take it. And then we opened one in one of our packs the last time it was printed, and then I got the non-foil, and he like made a joke like, oh, we can switch. And I was like, no, like foils are important to me, but not like, oh, I'm gonna take one away from him. Like, I'm not 5, like I need the foil one. You know what I mean?
So
Yeah.
And because it's one of the high ticket items, like as the regular, it has the etch foil, it has the frame break treatment, and then there's also like a textured foil. So there's like 4 different versions of it, which again, more accessibility. They're going to short print it regardless, so it's not going to show up as often as like Kozilek or Extra Planar Lens, but it'll show up more often than it did in the last set.
Totally. Agreed. What's the next card you're excited about?
One of my oldest decks that I'm actually going to start putting it back together again is Omnath, Locus, and Mana. It's one of my oldest decks. I built it way back when. It's been this monster of the deck. Like, it's just green ramp, play big spells, be the threat.
Yeah.
It has the etch foil. It has the portrait foil and the textured foil. So there's a lot of different versions that I'm probably going to pick up one of each just because I love the card so much.
I love that. And I feel like, too, I honestly forget about OG Omnath as, like, a commander because I have the newer No, there's more new Omnaths. I should not say that.
There's a total of 5 right now.
It's 5.
Because I have mono green.
Yeah.
You have the Angry Jelly Bean.
That's funny.
The Moist Jelly Bean, which is Teamer, which no one likes.
I don't even know what it does.
There's the one that broke standard the weekend that it was released, and then there's the 5-color one that's all Phyrexians. So
the next card that I'm excited about, and I don't want to talk that much about this, but Land Tax. I actually love this art too. The one that they chose with like the treasure chest. It's very piratey. I honestly wish like this was not white so Paul could run it in pirates because it has like such pirate flair. But yeah, this is a great staple, I feel like, for them to print. It's around the $50-ish mark, so I think for them to reprint this makes a lot of sense. And I mean, there's not a whole lot to say. Like, Land Tax is great. I have it in Angels. I'd like to get this for Alila. That would be awesome. It's an enchantment. It's 1 mana. Like, it triggers off Alila. It's perfect. And I'd like to get this for Marchesa too, because like it's such a Marchesa card. Like, oh, like I'm gonna Land Tax you. I love it.
I love Land Tax. I think it was better when the format was a lot slower. I don't like that they've used the Judge foil art or the Judge promo art for all the reprints that they've used because I was a judge. I did like the fact that the Judge foil arts were unique.
That's fair.
And then they constantly I don't know if it is something Wizards decided to do, but they just kept reprinting the Judge promo art, so it's not unique anymore to judges. They put them in a premium set every so often.
Yeah. I didn't even honestly think about that as like a thing. Like, I've never really thought about that before, but I think that's a great point. I think that's like, not that it like should be an exclusive thing, because I think we obviously care about accessibility, but I think the point of those was to be like, this is the one art for the thing. And they could have easily printed this with any art. It was
supposed to be a thank you for being a judge.
Yeah.
And helping our game grow and thrive the way that it is. But
yeah. Anyways, what's the next card that you're excited about?
So my next card, it's a weird one. It's not too exciting for most people, but Zilortha, Strength Incarnate. This was the buy a box promo for Ikoria, but it was only they only printed the Godzilla treatment for it. It didn't have its own card in the set, and now we have a paper version with its own art. I know on Magic Arena they had the art spoiled like a year or so ago. So I already knew this art was around, but now they actually have a paper version of the Magic version of the card instead of just the Godzilla.
This was a card that I said in the beginning where I was like, I felt like someone looked at my wish list to be like, oh, this card hasn't been printed in a while, and that's Grave Pact.
They picked a lot of cards off your wish list, by the way.
They did. Grave Pact. And Grave Pact is really interesting because it has been printed a couple of times. Thank you, Zelda. But it's expensive, and the foil's expensive, and they have this really stunning, and when I say it's like the 7th or the 8th edition, I think it's the 8th edition one. It's really stunning art. And it's funny because I don't actually know.
The one with the Grim Reaper pointing, this is where you go. I have that foil. actually.
I am low-key so jealous. Okay, I realize when I say low-key, I actually mean high-key. I'm high-key jealous. That's incredible. It's stunning. It's expensive, though. And you know what's funny? When I click on it, it doesn't actually show me what art they've chosen. They only shows me the borderless one, so I don't know what art they're going with, actually.
If you go on to Scryfall, they have all the arts there, but it's a new art for both versions.
Oh, okay.
It's really good. I like it.
I have to check it out. I'm excited, but this is a great card. I want this for Mugus. I only want one, and this is like an incredible EDH staple. Like, creatures die all the time, and then everyone sacks. It's a great card. I'm really excited about this card. Ooh, okay. I'm just getting sent the link. Ooh, I already like that picture. Oh, this is cool. This is good art.
Base art, and then the other extended art. They both look great.
I agree.
I know that the price shot up like a long while ago because it has 3 black pips. Some modern deck was running it.
Really?
I don't know. It's been a while. I don't remember.
All right. Anyways, what you got?
All right. So my next one is going to be another group of cards. I saw when I was going through and looking at all the cards, I'm like, oh, that was from that one Commander product. Oh, that was from that one Commander product. And there's like 60 cards that are going to be first-time foils that were from old Commander products. So
that's a massive number.
Yeah. I went through like the entire set and just found all the ones, like the Thriving Bluffs, the Thriving Lands from Jumpstart, the Confluences from that one Commander product. Most of the Undaunted cards got reprinted. The Ikoria free spell cycle. Those are going to be first-time foil, first-time reprint for most of them, too.
That's great. Next up, I have to talk about Craterhoof Behemoth. Like, yeah. It's funny because Paul also needs this, too. And he has one in Ashaya, which we just did a duck tech on, and I'm trying to think, did I post that already? I think I did.
You posted that.
I did post that one? Okay. Ashaya, and then he has another one in Karametra. And he has a proxy in Ashaya, which we don't normally like do that, but he's like, I just don't want to buy another one. And then as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, there's your reprint of Ashaya. And I also want one too, because I have one in, I only want the one, I have one in Omnath, and I want just the foil. So I'm excited about this. It's an expensive card. This and Lantax I feel similarly about. It's a good one.
They didn't make an alt art for it, right?
No, I don't think so. It might have a borderless art, actually.
They have an etched, like, all the rares and mythics have an etched foil.
Yep.
Which to me aesthetically looks better. And I especially love like the dual color ones where they match up the colors from both halves of the card.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm excited about it. I think it's a good one. I like it too, and Paul and I are both excited about the same card, so that's for me. What's the next card you're excited about?
So the next card is another set of 5. I love Rebecca Guay. She's one of my favorite artists, and she has one of her sets of basic lands that used to be like the standard ship, but now they're all in the old borders, and I need like at least 50 of each for my cube.
I love that so much. Like when you sent me a message for, sorry, I'm pulling up the next card because it's a specific card that I need. When you told me and you were like, guess what I'm excited for? And I'm like, what? And you were like, the lands. I'm going to scroll down so that I can talk about the specific ones that you're talking about. Yeah, these are stunning.
And they're going to look so good in foil, too, on top of that.
I agree. First time foil?
Yeah, it's the retro frame foil.
That is going to look great. I really like the planes on that forest are like painted. Like they look very like, painted. Do you get what I'm saying? Like they have like a certain style to them. Anyways, what were you gonna say?
Because they're the basic lands, they're going to come up a lot in all the different type of booster packs. So I'm going to try to get these for like 50 cents each.
Honestly, I'm in the same boat as you.
There's a slot for these, I think, in the collector boosters, and there's going to be too many people opening the collector boosters.
I agree.
So, and no one's really excited for the basic lands, right? Other than me.
Well, since you've said this, I've realized that those are really stunning, and I'd like to get some too. So, I agree. Okay. The next card I'm excited about is the Demonic Tutor, but specifically the borderless art. Have you seen this?
Yes.
My friend Brad, like, we talk about Magic cards all the time, but he sent me it and he's like, isn't that like the best thing? And I was like, I love it. And also too, you know the other art that has Liliana? This is Liliana, right?
It's supposed to be Liliana. I don't know what really happened with it. I think it's supposed to be reminiscent to Liliana.
Yes. And the other art where it was in the Divine versus Demonic art, that's the art that I'm specifically talking about. There'll be a picture.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll see.
It's the same type of effect of demon coming down, gifting the powers to the young necromancer.
I love this. And I honestly feel like I've been pretty indifferent to a lot of the Demonic Tutors art, except for that one with Liliana, which I really enjoy, but I don't think that one comes in foil, because I think it came out Divine versus Demonic and then something else, but I really love this art, and I don't feel like I've been passionate about Demonic Tutor art in a really long time, and I really like this, and I'd like at least 7 of them, so.
I still have my altered one from the original artist.
That's special.
It looks so good. It's he didn't alter it, someone else did, but it's basically borderless.
That's cool.
They just added more details around to make it borderless.
That's incredible. I love that. What else you got?
Nothing else from the main set. There's a lot of sweet cards from the Commander product.
Yeah, you could definitely talk about some of those.
There's not too many. Like, there's like 1 or 2 from every single from each product that I want, which probably means I'm not buying any of the boxes or the product specifically. I'm just gonna buy singles. But I really love Rise of the Eldrazi. They said the name of the movie, roll credits. But it's a 12 mana spell, and it has Emrakul, Ulamog, and Kozilek's effects, cast triggers, all on 1 card.
Oh my gosh, you know what? I think this just came out today. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, LRR just released it today.
Perfect. You know what it is I think we're filming this on Thursday. I don't know when you guys are going to see this. Sometime soon, but you guys are going to see this. But I think I just kind of glanced at them, yeah.
The day before everything else gets spoiled.
I love this art. Can I just talk about, I love the colors of this. It's so fun. This is ridiculous.
They spoiled this art. They spoiled the art for this like last week through Gavin. His YouTube video did some spoilers similar to how Mark Rosewater does his.
This is ridiculous. By the way, that card is insane. I know immediately Paul's probably going to want this, and I also know my friend Jorge, who has a Kozilek Butcher of Truth deck, is going to want this, because this is insane.
I have a friend who has a...
Zelda knocked over my deodorant. Keep going.
I have a friend who has a Joda deck, the original one. So it's the Fist of Suns.
Yep.
So he's like, okay, cool, it's 12 mana, but if I pay Wooburg, I still get to cast it.
Oh my god, dude, I didn't even think about that. I haven't talked to Paul about the new cards yet, but yeah, I think he should also put that, because he also has Joda, and that would be ridiculous.
Yeah, there's a card called what is it called? It's a sorcery for like 6 mana. You exile an instant or sorcery from your graveyard. All your creatures get +X/+O, where X is the mana value. And then when that creature deals combat damage, you cast a copy of that spell.
That's ridiculous.
So in the token deck, you're like, okay, everyone gets +12. If you don't die from the combat, I'm gonna kill you with everything else by taking like 14 extra turns and drawing a bazillion cards.
Doubling season. I feel like I just want one. I want the foil. It's expensive. I want one for Omnath. I don't have a whole lot to say there. I'm excited about it. I am a little bummed. You know, it's funny, when you mentioned about the Craterhoof not getting new art, I'm a little bummed that they didn't use a different art for this, like the Battle Bond art, for example. I just love Battle Bond. I'm a sucker for Battle Bond, so like, you know. I don't really have like a favorite doubling season art, but it would have been nice to see something different, so that's my thoughts.
I think they spend most of their budget commissioning new art for Slivers.
That's fair. You know, this is a side note, but my favorite thing to do in movies that have like no budget is to like point out one thing where I'm like, that's where all the budget went. That's like one of my favorite qualities. We're like watching a movie and their budget's like $1 million, and I'm like, okay, well, this is where, you know, half of it went.
So like the little communicator in episode 1 of Star Wars is like this like cheap razor from that they just like made it look like sci-fi. You laugh, but it's true.
I know, but I also love that like you brought up episode 1 and you brought up Star Wars, and like Paul's not even here, and I just think it's funny. I've got Smothering Tithe up next. Tithe? Okay. I've never thought about how I'm going to say that. Real hyped about this. This is like one of those like point of contention cards, I feel like, in my play group, where like and I'm sure it's like this in a bunch of play groups, like as y'all are watching this or whatever too, and I'm sure even you as well, is like when you slam this down or someone slams this down, like everybody just like groans, like that's like the reaction. And it's funny because I was playing an Alila game, the other day, which I actually won, which is pretty wild. I don't usually win with Alila, actually. That's not, like, one of my decks that I have a high win rate with. I still love the deck. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm mad about it. But I just, you know, but I played Rhystic Study, and I, like, felt so annoying, and I was like, oh my god. And I only own one Rhystic Study, but I was like, man, this is, like, how people feel about Smothering Tithe, too. It's a great card. It's a great staple. It makes so much sense that this is in the set. I'm excited about it. It's a great card.
How do you feel that it got upshifted to Mythic?
It's so funny you say that, because I looked at it and I said, has this always been a Mythic? I think I get it, but I also think it's silly, you know?
Like, so I understand, like, the reason why is because, like, it's the powerful card. Bringing it up to Mythic means a smaller amount of them are going to be released.
Yeah.
Although there's 3 different printings of it, I don't think that really matters.
True. It's also not like one of those cards that's ridiculously expensive. Like, it's sitting at around like the 20, 25, 30, which isn't egregious. So, and the foil's like roughly the same.
It used to be like around 35, 40 for a long while.
Yeah.
So if they keep printing it over and over for the next couple years, it'll stabilize around 20, and that's fine.
I agree.
Just pay your taxes. Don't give them treasures.
Agreed. This is also, in addition to doing this, we're also giving you tips for how to play Magic. Always pay the 1. Always pay the 2.
Like, always pay the 1 for Rhystic Study. Sometimes pay the 2 for Tithe. But for the most part, it's like, yeah, you should always pay the Tithe. Otherwise, it's a free rampant growth for your opponent every single turn.
Also, like, I'm the worst person to play against Smothering Tithe because I draw so many cards, and like, it's like, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna draw 7 cards, and someone's like, yeah, you're gonna pay 14, and I'm like, ugh. So yeah, That's a bad card against me.
It sees a lot of play in CDH too, because Time Twister, Wheel of Fortune are like staples in most decks.
Dark Deal's also really great.
I played a game where opponent went turn 1 Mana Vault, turn 2 Smothering Tithe, turn 3 Time Twister, made a bunch of mana, Demonic Tutor, gets Yawgmoth's Well, and then cast the Time Twister again to make more mana, and then whiffed.
No. That's funny.
They cast Thrasios, which is one of their commanders, and then went activate, and couldn't find anything to play after that.
I'm hyped about Spellseeker. Were you the person who messaged me about this? Did you and I talk about this card? I don't remember, but I remember, and it wasn't in, like, I'm not talking about, like, this time, but you and I were talking about this card, and it came up in a video or something, I mentioned it, and then you were like, this card is, like, $40, and I was like, what do you mean it's $40? And I just had, like, 2 lying around, and I'm like, you know, a lot of people with this card, they get Cyclonic Rift, whatever, I love Spellseeker. I have her in Grand Arbiter, and she's great. She's fun. She's having a great time.
She could get you so many things. Like, you could, like, the lane going, like, Tutor into Tutor. So you get, like, Demonic Tutor with it, so you could get anything. That's a line. You could get Ephemerate, so you could flicker it and then get something else.
Could get a Merchant Scroll.
Yes.
Nobody plays Merchant Scroll, but, you know, if you know Merchant Scroll, you're cool.
I play Merchant Scroll.
I'm so happy that you play Merchant Scroll. I want to get Paul the piratey one, the, like, you know, the pirate dude or whatever, but he's like, I don't know what I would get with it. And I was like, that's fair, but it's a great card.
You get what you need. That's what tutors are for.
I love that. That's a great... You get what you need. I, very briefly, I'm excited about Rankle being reprinted. I believe it was only ever in Throne of Eldraine, and I love Throne of Eldraine. It's my favorite set. This is a fun side note.
It's downshifted to a normal rare, so you could get him at bulk prices now.
There you go.
Not that he isn't already bulk, but...
Is he? Last I checked, he was like a couple bucks, maybe like upwards of 10, 12, but that was... I don't checked, yeah.
The original one's around $4, so...
Oh, it's dropped significantly since I checked it last. Okay. Well, I'm excited about that. I want one for Mugus, and he's really great, and I love Throne of Eldraine. And by the way, this is a fun random Throne of Eldraine fact, but we had a birthday gathering for myself, and I did a me-themed Kahoot. It was so fun. And one of my questions was, what is my favorite Magic set? It's Lorwyn, just in case you don't know. Not you, but in case y'all don't know. It's Lorwyn, but I put Throne of Eldraine on there because I knew people were going to pick it, and they were like, I thought, and I was like, it's my second favorite. I love Throne of Eldraine. But the real star of the show is Disrupt Decorum. And if you know anything about me, you know that I'm not a red mage. I love Disrupt Decorum. My friend Roberto has 2 kind of like goad decks, and they're so fun. Like, they're so fun. And he has the one commander, he has Prosper as one commander, and then he has the one commander that's like the same colors, but it's like when it enters the battlefield, goad all creatures your opponents control, but it like doesn't say goad, I don't think. I forgot the name. You know what I'm talking about?
It's that uncommon from Kaldheim.
I don't remember what it's called, but anyways, Disrupt Decorum is incredible, and I want this for Marchesa. And let me just like also tell you, and the art that I'm looking at right now is the like buy a box promo, I think, because this is the buy a box promo, but I think that the original one is still coming out, like in the original art, and it has like the best flavor text, which is like dinner and politics don't mix. I think that's hilarious. I'm excited about it. It's a great card.
Carter Doomscourge is the other card that you were talking about.
There you go. Bribery.
Bribery is fun.
This art. I love it.
I like that it's not just that like big shirtless guy in the original art.
Yeah, I agree. This art is fabulous.
Granted, I would like to have the original foil, except it's like 132 $32 right now. So
That's insane. That's crazy.
This is another upshift. This used to be rare for like ever and a half, and then it might be too good in this format. Depends on what everyone else opens.
I think it's incredible. Yeah, it's funny you say that because I was looking at that too, but then I was like, I don't want to say it and then be wrong. So
it's only as good as what your opponents are playing.
Yeah.
My Child of Alara deck never gets targeted because it's all commons. So.
Oh, that's fun.
Cats.
Oh, cats! Look, make a friend. Zelda's like, no, I'm antisocial. That's fine.
Have you seen Personal Tutor?
Did it get reprinted here?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, okay. Hold up.
It's like Strixhaven theme.
I think I might have... Oh, yes! I like that. That's fine. And correct me if I'm wrong, but this card hasn't been printed a ton, right?
This is its first reprinting since Portal.
Wow. I love the art,
I did not buy one for $80 2 years ago. I swear.
Hashtag regret.
So the original art has Kazmina and some bird. And then the full art one is Urza Mishra.
I like it. I think that's really cool. You know, it's funny. I probably would have seen that when I was like going through, but I'm glad you said that because I think that's a great card.
Another Cyclonic Rift.
I love it. It's great.
I think it's a great card. It's one of the best board wipes that's in the game.
Totally.
Which leads to a lot of people refusing to play it because it's too good. I may have a lower power level playgroup than you do, so I don't really see it that much anymore. Really? But if I might need to put this back in the deck.
That is insane because I feel like it's so weird because I think sometimes we get like fixated on like our playgroup in a sense of like I'm like, oh my gosh, I never see this card, but then I'm like, okay, but I'm only playing with like a small group of people that I sometimes like forget. So I guess when I say that, I'm really talking about like my friends. But I feel like everybody just anticipates the Cyc Rift, you know? Everyone anticipates the Cyc Rift, which is not a bad thing. I just want people to fear me as much as humanly possible, and that is my ultimate goal. And you know the meme where it's like I'm in my villain era? That's me, but like I haven't like just entered the villain era, like I've been in the villain era. Oh my gosh, another card I'm excited about that I don't know, like I don't know if I got one where I'd put it, but I'm excited to see it, is Heroic Intervention. Do you remember when this card was like literally $4 and people slept on it, and then it like people were like, oh, this card's really good, and then like it jumped in price?
Do you know who bought a lot of them when they were $4?
Who, you?
No, not me.
Oh. At least you're honest.
I did pick up like a foil Japanese one for like $15 around the time that it was cycling out of standard.
That's cool.
It's pretty, and I still haven't put it in a deck.
You got to. That's so fun.
It's a sweet card. I like it. I
Yeah.
like what it does. I just don't play reactive cards like that. I'm usually the problem, as that picture I showed you from yesterday.
Same. This is sign language for like same, and we'll do this at work. So same. Okay, this is a card that I am like, oh my gosh, I'm excited to see this. Because actually this card is very strong, and I don't feel like... I think, you know what I think it is? I don't think this card's been printed a ton, which is Mangara the Diplomat. It's the one that's got lifelink. Whenever an opponent attacks with 2 or more creatures, if they were attacking you or planeswalkers, you draw a card. And whenever an opponent casts their second spell, draw a card. This is great.
This was like the first step towards, hey, we're going to make white better. And it wasn't a hit right away, but like it was the first steps towards like white actually having decent card draw and mana advantage.
Yeah.
It was only in Core Set 21.
That's what it was. It's not been printed a ton.
No, because no one's really excited for it either. Ashwin the Pilgrim is one of my oldest commander decks. I haven't played with it in a while. I like that there's an edge foil of it. Again, I love the colors for my edge foils. My original Lorwyn foil, I actually have signed by Wizard of the Coast employees.
That's
I
cool.
have Mark Rosewater, Aaron Forsyth, and Ken Nagel, and I found out Ken Nagel actually designed the card.
That's so cool. That's very fun. I like it.
Yeah, I met him at a Grand Prix. Grand Prix are what Magic Fest were called way back when. But I met him, and he had a bunch of cards in a binder of the test print version of the card and the card itself. And I was like, what do I need to do to get this test print version? And he's like, you can't. I'm like, okay.
Do you just accept it like that? You're like, okay, I'll take it. Wow, I would have been like, can you sneak me in there?
How many times have you been blown out from Arachnogenesis?
What is that?
Okay, that's the exact answer I was thinking of that you were gonna say, because the card's almost $50 right now.
Oh my god, what is it?
It's from Commander 2015. It's a 3-mana instant. You make X 1/2 spiders with reach, where X is the number of attacking creatures, and you fog all non-spider damage.
I'm fairly certain I know this because my friend Lucas has a spider deck, so I'm fairly certain I've seen that card before. And yes, I love that he owns a spider deck. I think that's hilarious.
It's been reprinted first time in foil, and it has this really sweet borderless art.
I love that. I am probably one of the only people that's going to care about this card, but Reality Shift. I'm very excited to see that card. I only see the borderless art, so I'm assuming it has the regular art.
Yeah, it has the original Fate Reforged.
You know, and it's one of those cards where I love this card. I run this in like all my blue decks. I only own one foil. It's one of those like weirdly expensive cards where like the card is like $1 and the foil's like 10, and it's just like I just can't justify that. So I'm gonna get a couple of those.
Because foils back then worked differently than they do now.
That is very true.
Like the pull rates for foils back then were different. They didn't have collector boosters back in that set, so decent foils or decent uncommons like this, the foil multiplier is stupid.
That's a great point. I didn't even think about that.
Like the favor forward right here says it's 94 cents, and the foil versions of it is $9.21.
Yeah, I was pretty spot on with that. It's crazy. Okay, you actually sent me this. Did you see the
full art?
Yes, I did. You're talking about like the borderless, like the rat looking guy. Yeah. I do not like that at all. I'm sorry.
It's the cat samurai getting like digitized.
Digitized? Yeah, I don't like it. I'm sorry. You sent me this card, and yes, I am excited about it. Is the new Skyshroud Claim art. She's stunning. I love this card. I
love Skyshroud Claim overall. It's my opinion, it's the best 4-mana ramp spell since it gets you 2 lands. It could be any type of forest, so you could get dual lands, triomes, the snow duels, like anything that has a forest subtype.
I agree. And they come to the battlefield, they don't come in tapped. They're so good. I love it. I love it. Well, oh my gosh, we're working our way downtown to the multicolor. I'm working my way downtown. Okay, this is also the card that the one card that I mentioned similar to Grave Pack, where I was like, I feel like someone like looked at my wish list and printed this, which is Zakama, Primal Calamity. I think this card is awesome. I don't remember who it was, but there was this person I knew who had a Zakama deck, and it was wild. Like, Zakama is just wild. And I feel like, yeah, I get that it's like 9 mana, but like, does it matter? Like, it doesn't matter, you know?
It's technically free.
It's free. It's free 99. And I love it. I think it's great. I want it in Rain. it's fabulous. And then if it dies with Reen, it just comes back into my hand, and then I can cast it again, and then untap lands. It's a great day.
One of my first commanders from way back when was Sek'kuar Deathkeeper. It's 2 and Jund for a 3/4. When a non-token dies, you make a 3/1 red and black Greatborn token with haste. That's not the part I'm excited about for this reprint, because the card's cheap. It doesn't cost that much. But they're finally printing the paper version of the token.
Oh.
It's ugly art. I wish they picked out something else, but it's the same one from Magic Online that for 17 years now.
Yeah.
But I messaged my friend. He has a Sek'kuar Shaman tribal deck. And I was like, I think I'm more excited for the Greatborn token than you. He's like, yeah, you're probably right.
I love that. And it is my friend Brad is also really into tokens, and he is so passionate about that, and he makes sure that all his tokens match whatever it is that he's doing, and I think that's really fun. Chromatic Lantern. I don't feel like there's a ton to say about Chromatic Lantern, but
it's a 3-mana rock that more people need to use, because the taboo of 3-mana rocks aren't good anymore, I think, is myth. Play your 3-mana rocks. Play your 5-drops on turn 4. You don't need to always accelerate on turn 2.
Chromatic Lantern is great. I feel like all I run are 3-mana. That's not true, but there you go.
It depends. I like my accelerants to match with my commander. So if I have a 5-mana commander, the 3-mana rocks are really good.
Yeah.
If my commander's 4, having the rock on turn 2 helps accelerate you into the commander a turn earlier. If I have a 6-mana commander, my 4-mana ramp that gets me 2 lands also works.
Yeah. I like it.
Or just play Bejeweled Lotus.
Or just play Bejeweled Lotus and everything if you have $100 extra. Well, who knows what it's printed at now, so. The medallion cards. It was so funny because I had mentioned
Straight from your wish list.
Straight from my wish list. I had mentioned this in my Secret Lairs I design, and someone was like, I hope these get a reprint. I hope that person is very excited, because I am too. These are one of those really weird cards where it was Commander 2014 and 7th edition. And I love 7th edition's foils, but they're ridiculous.
It is not in 7th edition.
No.
Otherwise they would have had a foil. It was Commander 2014 and Tempest.
Tempest! Okay, I don't know why I thought 7th edition. I don't know. I had 7th edition on my mind for some reason. But anyways, they were never in foil, right?
Correct.
Never in foil. And Commander 2014, that's almost been 10 years since they've ever seen a reprint. That's absolutely wild. This is long overdue. This needed to happen, a long time ago.
So do you know about the Snoopy Sapphire medallions?
No.
So the printers they used way back when were shared between different companies. They didn't have just their own printers. And there was a run of Tempest cards that got doubled up with, or some of the residue from the comic ended up on a handful of cards from Tempest. So there's a handful of Snoopy comic inside the art for Sapphire Medallion.
Oh, that's a fun fact.
I'm still trying to find one for Liz.
Yeah.
She loves Snoopy.
I love that. That's a great fact. Yeah, we're nearing the end of the set. We've got Soul Ring, which is always really great to see. Arcane Signet, those are really great to see. Also, I don't know what the 2 or more opponent lands. These are great. I don't know what these are called.
I don't know which names people have solidified on that. I always call them battle lands because they were from the original. No, because this cycle here is from Battle Bond, and the other set. What was the other set from?
Are you specifically talking about these lands?
No. These ones were from Commander Legends. The other set came from Battle Bond.
Oh.
These are the battle lands.
Oh, I get what you're saying. I don't remember what they're called. I think I know what you're talking about, but I don't remember what they're called. Yeah.
There's too many nicknames for cycles.
There's too many.
Like they're gonna run out of like ways to describe like these lands. Like a blue red one, it's like hot water, or like the green black one is like dead tree. Like so just you're gonna run out of some sort of analogies for how these cards are going to be described.
I agree. The tap lands, like all this sort of stuff, it's just hard to keep up with. I like these lands. The only gripe that I have with them is these days I've been feeling lands that are the type that they are. So it'll say like land, forest, plains, and the fact that things don't.
The basic land types.
The basic land types.
Are,
yes.
They're really good for like the Skyshroud Claim, Farseek, Nature's Lore. Like they're really good with those type of lands. I like having some diversity with my lands, like these ones, specifically for Field of the Dead. There are sometimes I'll have a deck where I only have 6 basic lands, and it's 3 regular basics and 3 snow basics, so that every land triggers Field of the Dead.
Yeah.
But they're fine. They're untapped lands in the early game.
Totally. Most of the time they're going to always be like untapped as well too, because I mean, unless you're getting this really late at the stages of the game, you know? So, Rogue's Passage is another good reprint. The Reliquary Tower borderless art is very stunning, I will say. I really enjoy that art. It's very pretty.
I haven't really been a fan of either one of those cards for a while. Like, I don't really have a deck where keeping my hand size is beneficial to me.
Really? I feel like that's how I live.
I mean, like, I use my graveyard like it's a second hand. So if it goes to the graveyard, I could always pull it back at some point. Path of Ancestry is another sweet land.
Yes.
It will always tap for your color identity. It enters tapped, and sometimes you get Scry. It doesn't even need to be in a tribal deck for it to be good. Casting your commander still counts. And outside of that, it's just another command tower.
I agree. I like Path of Ancestry a lot, and I think it's great. And then Command Tower, that's another really great reprint. It's always really nice to see that.
Thran Dynamo, gain a reprint. This is another like big accelerant. Like it shoots you so far ahead for tapping for 3 mana, and then it taps for 3 right away.
Yeah.
So you could put in a 3-drop right away with like Chromatic Lantern.
There you go. It's a good turn if you play that plus Chromatic Lantern. Wow, that's a great turn. Well, I think that's everything that I have for cards that I would like to talk about. Yeah. I mean, there's Sower of Discord was another really cool one. That other card, that's like the black one. That's another really cool card.
Archfiend of Despair?
Yeah, those are both great.
Archfiend of Despair and Sword of Discord were like big, like demons that Kalia makes very scary.
Yeah.
Like both were really high up in price until this reprint. Despair's still a mythic. The other one's downgraded to rare.
Yeah. They're both really expensive. And I remember, like, I'm pretty sure Paul owns both of them, and he has them both in Joda. Okay, maybe I'll pick that up for Mugus, but then I looked it up and I was like, why is this so expensive? So I don't know what it is after it's been reprinted, but those are both really great reprints.
Yeah. This product's going to be very expensive in the beginning.
Yeah.
If you want to get packs of it, I recommend drafting. This draft format looks sweet, even though we don't have the full deck list or the set list yet.
Yeah.
Comes out tomorrow, conveniently. If you're looking at singles, don't the hype. Wait a couple weeks. Wait for the product to get open. And wait for the prices to go down. Like, I'm probably gonna wait like a month before I buy any of the big flashy cards that I want. Because most of the cards that I want are just going to be the edge foil versions, instead of just having the base set cards. Buy the commander decks if you want to play them out of the box and make some modifications. Like I said, like a half an hour ago, there's only a handful of cards from each of the decks that I want, so I'm just going to buy the singles from that.
Yeah, I think I haven't bought like a commander, one of those commander products in a really long time, and I think unless I really wanted like 95% of it or something crazy high like that, I don't know what I would consider doing that. You know, I will say one thing I don't like that they do with those is they only print cards that you can get in there, and they don't put them in the actual set. That really bothers me. Like the one card that we talked about, the one with like that I said I really like the art of, that it has like them where it's like you destroy a permanent, draw 4 cards, whatever, all that stuff, like that's only in there, correct me if I'm wrong, right? So it's going to be pretty expensive. I feel like
it's from it's inside the commander deck,
right?
So if you buy the commander deck, you get the card. But I've been buying all the commander decks specifically because it's cheaper for me to have bought the singles.
Totally.
But with this one, where like I never liked slivers,
same,
I'm not the biggest fan of Super Friends,
same.
The Enchantress deck looks interesting, but I already have most of the cards from the decks because there's only 10 new cards in each commander deck. And there's like 2 from the Enchantress deck and like 3 from the colorless deck. So I think I'm just going to buy the singles.
I think that's it.
I think that's it.
Cool.